You're listening to the official podcast of Asbury University, produced by students with God-honoring conversations that inform, edify, and encourage. This is Asbury. We explore culture and current topics through a Christian worldview, promoting a well-balanced life, and we empower our community to belong, become, and be set apart. I'm your host, Abby Lobb. Welcome to This is Asbury. Welcome to This is Asbury. I am so excited about our guests today because they're going to be talking about all things health, wellness, the kinds of foods that we eat, in this case that we drink. Welcome Dr. Elise Kearns and Carley Hinshaw to the studio.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, so good to be here.
Yeah, so Carley Hinshaw, you are a student here at Asbury. Dr. Elise Kearns, Associate Professor of Exercise Science. Can you guys tell me a little bit about yourselves, what you just got done studying, and just why we're here today?
Go ahead, Carley, because this is all you.
So I am a senior at Asbury. I'm studying biology. I actually started off as exercise science, but I switched over my sophomore year. And I'm a basketball player, and I am in the study, and with the help of Dr. Kearns, focused on sugar-sweetened beverage consumption in the Asbury cafeteria.
Okay.
Yeah, Carley came to me. She needed to do her senior research project and was looking for something to do. And, you know, this was a topic that I had been looking at for quite a while. And I said, how do you feel about this? And she immediately, like, her face lit up. She goes, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And so, you know, she took it from there.
Yeah, because you guys are required to do something like that, your senior year, a research project. Talk about just that a little bit. Is that something where you pair up with a faculty member, or how does that work?
So junior year for bio students specifically, you have to take an intro to research class, and in that class, all of the different professors come into the class and they share what research they've done, what research they would want to do. I don't think Dr. Kearns did it that semester, or she doesn't do it at all, whichever one it is.
No, it's only really if there's something I have going on currently that I could have a student contribute to.
Okay.
However, we are able to go up to any faculty and ask, even if it's in a different major, I think that we're able to go to do that. Or we can go do another school as well.
Okay.
Like if I know I had a friend who did it at Wake Forest this past summer, for example.
Okay, that's cool. So it's a chance too to kind of get to know what your own faculty member are really into and studying.
Yes.
So do those sometimes align, or is it like students just have totally off the wall ideas? You know what I mean?
Well,
this time it aligned, I guess, right?
It's also kind of, you know, in that class, the first 2 months, I tried to think of my own research. That is not easy as a 20-year-old who's never done research before. I mean, that was humbling.
Yeah.
To try to question everything in the world. I mean,
well, coming up with a research question is the key to doing research, and it's often the hardest thing to do is a good research question.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. So your research question then became what?
So we were talking about front of package labeling, and if you look in the literature right now, and if you just Googled front of package labeling, the FDA, definitely in the European Union, in the United Kingdom, they're really moving from back of the package labeling that we're all used to front of package labeling. So if you think of that now, you know, we really don't know what we're ingesting, and it's not easy to quickly see the choices that you're making. There's no information. So we decided we were going to say, what would we do if we put some sort of front of package or front of whatever it is? In this case, it was a soda machine.
Yeah.
What would happen if we put some sort of message there, a label, to see if that might decrease sugar-sweetened beverage consumption?
Okay.
So you take it from there, Carley, as far as how we picked traffic light labels.
So for traffic light labels, I will give Dr. Kearns the credit that she did offer the idea, and she said, well, look into all the different research, look what people have done, look at the literature, and see what you can come up with. And she did suggest a couple of articles to me, which I read. And the one thing that I came across was the warning and informational side of labels. Their labels are trying to give a message. They're trying to get the consumer to quickly know if something is high in nutrients, low in nutrients, and if they should be consuming it. Well, the beauty of a traffic light nutrition label is that it's quick and easy to read by the colored coding of it. Red, low nutrients, green, high nutrients. And, you know, when I thought of Asbury students, and I thought about it this last night, I was like, how many times did I get a different beverage besides the 2 that I usually go with? Never. I never thought about it. I always grabbed the same 2 the last 3 years that I ate in the caf.
What were they?
Yes, exactly.
I am a terrible Dr. Pepper drinker.
Oh, girl, you gotta cut that habit.
I know. Trust me, after reading so much about this, I know I need to cut it. And then water. If it wasn't that, I usually would drink water.
Yeah.
But most students have at least between 2 to 3 drinks that they usually go to.
Yeah.
So are they really like thinking about it when they're doing it? So we needed a sign that would grab their attention in a short enough amount of time when they're choosing it to be able to sway their decision, if not get them to think about it. So a traffic light label would do that easily with the bold red color of it to show that it is low in nutrients and not good for you.
So how did you decide what the colors were going to be?
Well, just a traffic light and something that they see, or most people can drive.
But I mean, how did you
not.
determine the parameters of each of the colors, like how much sugar or like how much, you know?
Which, like, in our study, it was easy because we only did soda in this study because that's the only thing we could actually measure how it was being consumed.
All red, right?
Yeah, so it was red.
It was red.
We decided not to do anything yellow and green in this study simply because we couldn't measure. We couldn't measure the other beverage consumption. And this we could. Soda's unique because those machines use the syrup bags.
Right.
So, go ahead,
you
Carly.
Could find out exactly how many cups were being served in a week or whatever.
And how much syrup has been purchased on every order. Yeah, so just the red, yellow, and green labels has been, it's been researched a lot.
Okay.
So we decided to add a little twist to it based on one of the other, studies that we based this on. So not just doing just red, yellow, green, because red, I shouldn't drink that, but why shouldn't I drink that?
Yeah.
So that's how the warning labels. So
the warning labels were very harsh or very direct. There really wasn't any cutting corners with it. It was our label specifically went after obesity, cardiovascular disease, CVD, type 2 diabetes or just diabetes in general, and cancer.
Okay.
Yes.
Which are 3 of those are in the top 10 leading causes of death.
And can be directly tied to sugar consumption or soda consumption.
Exactly.
All of the above.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So did you find, Elise, Dr. Kearns, I know you said that you got some pushback on this. People weren't really happy to see Carley shaking her head. Talk about that.
That was something that we did not anticipate.
No,
but,
not at all.
A really good learning experience for everyone involved. And I can say in my doing research over my time, there's always something that crops up that you try to plan for everything. You submit your study to the institutional review board, you get approval, you think about all aspects. But, this was one not necessarily surprising, perhaps, but, just the, not severity, but the passion about this topic that
that's a great word for it.
Soda.
Right, but people are really tied to what they love and they don't want to necessarily hear the negative messaging surrounding that, and I think that was hard to hear. If we think back to cigarettes and the label and the warning labels that were put on cigarette packaging and the pushback that happened, and now that's commonplace, right? Everyone knows cigarettes cause cancer, and those labels aren't offensive to anyone.
Yeah, right.
But these labels did create some offense.
A lot of offense.
Yeah. Go ahead, Carly.
I mean, Joe Berner, the vice assistant something of student life, he emailed me. We were friends after this. Like he emailed me many times, getting emails from the Kresge RD. At the time, Savannah had emailed him saying that these are suggestions from students on the signs. Talking about how offensive it is.
Oh wow!
And I hate that they took offense to it, but that doesn't make it not factual.
I think it was actually. There's a lot of extra studies that could be done with this on doing some interviews with students and really delving into the reasons behind the reaction that happened. So I think there's actually another study, certainly. I mean, I've got 2 or 3 formed in my mind after that happened. And not to discount those voices and what, why that was offensive to them or what issue, not to discount those things, but really it's really helpful to get to the why of those things. What did you
learn from that? I mean, did that teach you eating is somewhat emotional,
Well, as a chronic, crippling Dr. Pepper drinker as I am, I obviously understand, like, that it stinks to be told that what you love to consume is bad for you.
Right.
I mean, I've had a lot of struggle with this study myself, trying to drink less of it when I'm continuing to learn how bad it is for me. And dealing with that that message, along with, trying to fix my lifestyle, has been kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's hard.
And I know that the student body probably faced that also when reading my signs, but that is the truth that is behind
Right.
it.
Exactly.
The truth is not always what we want it to be.
No. And those signs, I think it's important to know, those signs were based on evidence.
Yes.
Right.
And not just one study, lots.
Right.
So
but
they weren't, we didn't just make those up.
Right. With drinks, and this is a little bit more of like a just health perception question, but do you think people would have responded differently, say, if you put that sign on the chocolate cake section? Like, everybody knows cake is bad for you. Like, do you think that would have been received differently? Do you think maybe people didn't realize how much sugar was in their drink?
I actually think it wouldn't have been hated as much personally.
Yep.
I think there is a tie right now to beverages, especially energy drinks, which obviously we didn't study, but energy drinks, sports drinks, soda. I mean, college students are attached to it on the hip. That was a big inspiration for me, obviously being one myself, but my teammates, I'm calling out women's basketball right now. I mean, we love our pop and our energy drinks, and I watch my teammates consume so much of it. Obviously, my fellow students, like in the cafeteria and everything, I also watch them do it as well. But we are attached to these beverages that get us through the stress of college.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I want to comment on your cake thing, because that was actually a suggestion from the students on the pushback.
Yeah.
Why just soda? There's a lot of other stuff, and absolutely 100% agree, exclamation point, but we can't measure how much cake was being. So it wasn't that we were singling out soda as, it was just what we could measure, because in a research study, we have to be able to objectively measure. So it wasn't that soda was worse than chocolate cake.
No, not
well,
at all.
and I have seen stats, though, where, it's a huge percentage, like the amount of your total calories consumed for the average U.S. adult. It's a huge percentage of it that comes from drinks. Like, I personally don't think a lot of people realize how many of their calories are consumed simply from the beverages. Like, if you go to Starbucks, say, and just get like a latte, that sucker has so much sugar in it.
450 calories.
And they don't think about that when they're purchasing
It's
it.
like your sugar allotment for the entire week, like in one drink, literally.
Yes.
So I think a lot of people don't realize that.
I was, when doing all of this, the FDA, of course, they were my best friend in all of this. I mean, if you're not going to listen to me, you're going to listen to the government, the FDA. But specifically, drinks, this group of drinks take up 25% of our added sugar normally.
Okay, 25%.
Yes. So it's about a fourth of the added sugar that we're intaking is from sugar.
Wow.
And that's the highest group out of everything else.
Yeah.
In reality, though, a normal adult should only consume around 2,000 calories. That's what the FDA suggests. Only 200 calories should be coming from added sugar, fat, saturated fat, sodium. All of that is in the same 200 calories. Well, one 12-ounce can of soda is 150.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
You're
so
there.
And you're getting zero other nutritional benefits from it.
Exactly. I mean, at least some foods. I'm not talking about chocolate cake
Right. Like,
specifically.
you're still hungry
but
afterward.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
I mean, some other foods that have added sugars, sodium, and saturated fat have other nutrient
You could at least
values,
get like a
but-
milkshake, and then you at least have a
some
little like
nutrients,
calcium or something,
There you go.
protein.
But no nutrient value in soda or energy drinks. They're just
Wow.
adding to the added sugar.
Yeah. Wow. So you mentioned, a lot of people that are really addicted to these drinks. Do you think that was probably the other reason that people were upset, because they were like,
yes.
I mean, they're actually addicted to these, and they just didn't want to face that.
Exactly.
No, I mean, I actually met with adjunct Joseph Mayo in the psychology department, because I was so flabbergasted on the reaction I was receiving from all of these students. And when I explained this study and the reaction we were getting, he said, "Oh, that's a great case of some cognitive dissonance you're receiving right there." And I was like, I mean, yeah, you're totally right. And just the disagreements people are having between their beliefs and like what they're doing is the reaction
that applies
received.
to everything. I mean, that applies
Exactly.
to technology use. That applies to lack of exercise. Like you know what's good for you, but you
100%.
can't do it.
Exactly. And what people decided to do, some people decided to just ignore them, which was totally fine to me and Dr. Kearns. If you just decided to ignore them, that's fine. Other nutrient labels are also ignored in this.
Yeah, that was part of our study.
Yes,
Does this
exactly.
work or doesn't it? Yeah.
But, the ripping down the signs and obviously,
aggressive.
One of them got in a fight with the manager of the CAF at the beginning of the semester. I mean, I think they were in a screaming. I wasn't in the cafeteria, so I am not a primary source. But told by other people, they were screaming at each other, and it was not necessary.
Wow.
But,
But again, good information for what we know that we are up against as far as changing behaviors in the future, why front of package labeling is so important. And we are going to see that. You will start seeing that in the grocery stores soon. I know that's been passed. So companies have to comply with that now.
Right. So you determined that it did work because you saw that consumption went down. How much did it go down?
It depends on the analysis, but if you look at the average purchasing of it, it went down 3 gallons.
Okay.
So we took the averages of each soda per, obviously. So before that, it was 8. There was an average of 8 gallons purchased per soda. And after,
in that time frame.
Yes, in that time frame. And then after, it went down to 5.
Okay.
So
That's
that was
big
a
increase.
very, very
So
good.
statistically, it was significant when we ran our tests.
Yeah. It was not within the margin of error.
No, so, it was exciting. There were some definite limitations to these results, and I would say this is kind of more like some pilot data, just to say, did this have an impact whatsoever? There are some things we would obviously do differently if we did this on a larger scale and in multi-sites. So I think it's a good start to say, does this have an impact? Yeah. Because just the red, yellow, and green in previous studies did not. But when we combined it with our health risk message with the red, maybe that does make a bigger impact, like cigarettes.
Yeah. So here's my burning question, Carly. Do you still drink Dr. Pepper?
Yes, she does.
The fact that, yes, she's right.
Have you cut back?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good for you. You got to give yourself it's a process.
Also, I told Dr. Kearns right before coming in, I am no person to tell another person to stop drinking soda because I'd be super hypocritical.
And that's why you're a perfect person to do this study because it's not like you're coming from a place of, oh, look how good I am.
Exactly.
Soda.
No, I am not above you. If anything, I'm below
with
you. I mean, I need to get through finals just as you, and I'm going to have to probably get a Dr. Pepper to get me through it.
You can get coffee. Get some coffee.
Get some coffee.
Black coffee. Add a little creamer if you want.
And I am not above a cherry Coke.
Oh,
so
there we go.
Yep.
My vice is I love a glass bottle Coca-Cola. If I can have that once a year, that scratches the itch for me. Thank God I don't have a need for soda. But I'm hooked on those seltzer waters. And now I'm hearing that the cans are all lined with microplastics. And I'm like, dang it.
I know.
I can't
There's
drink.
always something.
Something is going to kill me.
But for sure, the sugar-sweetened beverages must decrease in our society. I mean, there's no question. There's no question. Yeah. Well, and now, just in the greater political landscape in the U.S., I'm sure this is interesting for you studying this. There's all these are they covered by food stamps? Are they not? There's a lot of talk just in general in the public square right now about all these topics and many other things. How do you think this study and all the other things we're seeing right now could influence, future public health initiatives? Do you see that there's some good on the horizon from either one of you, from your standpoint? I think the arguments, too, if you think about it from a political and government standpoint, is, you've got this freedom of choice and freedom on one side and how much regulation on the other. And I think for me, the answer to that is education.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you have the education to make that choice?
It's informed consent. Yes,
right?
exactly.
You know what you're choosing, and that's the goal here.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anyone saying, "Oh, no soda, it's gone forever, it's gone, no freedom of choosing soda." But know what you're doing, just like cigarettes. we could even get into the topic of taxing, right?
Yeah,
And we tax,
right.
now we tax cigarettes, and we saw the cigarette smoking
Yeah.
rates decline significantly
Right.
upon that. So you could argue that both ways politically.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of good conversations there.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it's the education piece
Yeah.
of it. Know what you're choosing. Know.
Mm-hmm.
Because, if you think about it, my grandmother died of lung cancer, and it was because she smoked. And
Yeah.
long, long, long ago, she had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
No idea that those
Yeah.
cause cancer. And, so I think it's a matter of education and having that on front where people can see it right away. We know this is linked to X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Now you make your choice.
Right. Well, and it's just so interesting. This is a whole other conversation, but just how brands market their products, and I think that's where you get some of the biggest pushback. I mean, they have billions of dollars, and they're gonna get a box of Honey Nut Cheerios, and they're gonna stick a heart healthy label on the front.
Yep.
And you're like, well,
Yeah, we could talk about cereals next.
exactly.
we can go there.
But that would be one of those things where it's like they're going to have all their marketing like high fiber, blah,
Right.
blah, blah, whatever.
Yes.
But then they're going to have a red stoplight on the front.
Exactly.
Like, this is bad.
Yep.
So you're going to see some interesting tactics, I think, being deployed with some of these brands if this stuff really picks up momentum. It'll be interesting to see.
There's lots of lobbying against front of package
yes.
labeling.
Yes.
And it's really forcing to choose to do different formulations. And now what those formulations will end up looking like, in the future, we'll find out.
That'll be so interesting. Yeah. I just, if anything, for me personally, just like comes in a package and has any marketing on it, then I just don't buy it. That's my rule of thumb. I don't buy anything
Most of the
that
time,
has
they're not
marketing on it.
marketing at all.
Right. If there's a big whole list of ingredients, obviously you can't pronounce it's probably not great.
Yep. If it has more than one or two ingredients, I'm like, I'm out.
Yep, not good.
Yeah. So for younger people, it can be hard because you're limited. You're in a dining hall, and Fresh Ideas is doing some really cool stuff. But just, talk directly to other people who are maybe in college with you. What's that like, and how can they really do a good job making the best choices possible?
So the one thing I would suggest would probably be to sleep. I do not sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you're wanting to get energy in a different source, I would definitely sleep. That would be my number one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, like the FDA suggests, 85% of the things you're supposed to be consuming are supposed to be nutrient-based things, and you're supposed to be meeting all the different food groups. I would try to meet them. It's very difficult, especially in our age. I mean, I know the cafeteria sometimes is not great. I'm not going to hate on Fresh Ideas because they've done a really great job this year, giving us better options, definitely more diverse choices.
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen it too.
Obviously, some of them are not always great, and everyone's not going to love them. However, being able to meet those different food groups would be the number one thing I would suggest to my fellow students after, diving into research. I mean, if you want energy and you want to be able to create a good plan for your future, I would definitely be trying to do that and understanding the risks you are taking, not doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's long-term health, although you don't feel that right now because you're young, and it's in the short term, that's probably not, imminent to you.
Right.
But in the long term, it builds up, and it will be.
Exactly. So, you'll feel it when you're over the age of, I don't know, 25, 30.
Exactly.
No, you're right. I mean, there were so many studies that we looked at where longitudinal studies specifically where, I mean, even if you worked out, even if you, only one per day, like those people still did end up having CVD and, just signs of early stages of those chronic diseases, which is incredibly sad. And people just don't understand that.
Oh, well, I work out, so it's okay. I can do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they think they can just, negate those calories somehow. But it's more than just calories. I mean, it's like, I don't know, the chemistry of your cells, like your mitochondrial health,
Well, sugar feeds abnormal growth.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember learning in, I don't know, like third grade or something, the mighty mitochondria. And I think we need to learn more about that.
Yeah.
Like, it's like cute when you're little and then you're just like, oh, well, whatever. But now it's like, no, that's everything. Like learning how these types of foods interact with our cells is so important. So that's a whole other podcast topic.
Exactly. Come take our exercise physiology course, EXS 420. I'll meet you there.
Love it. Dr. Kearns, from your standpoint as faculty, helping lead this study with Carley, did you learn anything from this about your students?
Absolutely. Carley just did such a fantastic job. And when you think about undergraduate research, this is very new to them. And mentoring undergrad students, she just took this on herself. No matter what I asked her to do, she was doing it. She did her reading. She really just gave it her effort. And, this is on top of everything else. So if you're an undergraduate student and an Asbury student and you want to get involved in undergraduate research, I just really encourage you to do so, regardless of if you're in the sciences. In the humanities, there's so many opportunities. I think it does so much for you, for your career. And if you're moving on to graduate school, you're going to be exposed to research, and that's going to be something you are involved with. So I would encourage all Asbury students to look for opportunities and talk to your faculty about undergraduate research.
Well, and I just think it just pays off to be curious, no matter what, profession you're going to, even if you are planning to be, stay-at-home mom or, whatever, just being curious about what you're putting in your body. Like looking at that list of ingredients and just, I wonder what that is. And then you Google it and you're like, oh, no, that's going in the trash. But what do you know what you want to do, Carley, when you graduate?
When I graduate, I want to go to PA school.
Awesome.
Physician's assistant.
Yes.
I'm going to take a couple years gap year because basketball, takes up
tough.
7 out of the 9 months of the school year for me. So I haven't been able to get any, working shadowing hours as much as I'd like to. So that's what I'll be doing after school.
Just got to get her shadowing hours before you can do your application.
Yes.
Exactly.
Where will you go to PA school? Who has that around here?
Well, there's actually 3 schools in Kentucky,
Okay.
Sullivan, Cumberland's, and UK.
Okay.
If I don't go into Kentucky, maybe Ohio. My family lives in Florida, so maybe there. Something like that.
Cool. Well, anything else that you learned or that you're inspired to take away from this, whether it's health related, whether it's human behavior related, any other takeaways you want to share?
First of all, I'm sorry if I offended them. I actually, that first week was really difficult for me.
I bet.
I actually had sprained my ankle. This doesn't seem relevant, but I had to go to my trainer because I couldn't walk on campus, and I had to go back and forth to the library to print, laminate, and then go to the cafeteria to put them back up.
No.
I had to go to Dollar General to buy tape 4 different times, and I ended up going to my trainer. She's like, yeah, your pain in your foot isn't because of you spraining your ankle, it's because of your stress.
Oh,
and I was like, you're joking. She's like, no, I need you to go home and cry.
Oh,
and I was like, okay. And I did. And it worked. I could walk the next day.
It was stressful.
And, I actually, there was one morning I was putting them right back up. And I prayed to God. I was like, God, if you want me to do this, should I not be doing this? Am I doing something wrong? I felt terrible.
Wow.
Well, this is crazy, but not even 5 minutes later, a girl, as I was putting signs up right on the fountain machine, she goes, I really like your signs.
Oh, that's great.
I was like, really? I was shocked. And she was like, no, you're right. They are terrible for you. She goes, I don't drink soda all the time. I may be here and there, but your signs are right, and they share a really good message, and I think they're really good.
Oh.
And it was so out of nowhere. I have no idea who this girl is. I don't even know her name.
That's awesome. That's a nice blessing.
It was. And, of course, I feel for all the people who did get offended, but just know that it didn't come from a place of malice or anything like that, but of a place of obviously wanting to meet the requirements of my degree, but just out of, curiosity, like you said, and just knowledge, Dr. Kearns, you hit it on the nail. Education is a very vital thing that we all need to know. And based off the reaction, I'm just assuming that people just don't know. And that's including myself. I did not know before this study how detrimental soda can be to your health. And after this, I am making changes to try to better myself for it. And I'm only hoping my fellow students can do the same.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is not always easy for any of us with anything, not just soda consumption.
Yes, exactly.
So they're in good company, right?
Yes.
When they get, if someone got upset. But anything you want to share in closing, Dr. Kearns?
No, maybe just look for more research on this campus going forward, and students being, this is a research study going on. So I think that's a positive that came from this, that maybe we were aware that, there's going to be research going on our campus, and how we react to that and participate in it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you both for being here. And thank you for doing this study. And I can't wait to see what you do next, Carley.
Thank you
guys.
much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of This is Asbury. To learn more about Asbury University, visit asbury.edu.